Welcome along once again to Liberty's Great American Cookbook, the show where you can see that cooked in the right way with the right ingredients, the way it's meant to be, American classics can be some of the best in the world. And what classics we have for you today. We know America's famous the world over for her desserts. We love our cookies and donuts, and we just adore our American pies. I've got some real fine examples for you today. How about my aptly named Liberty's Strawberry Summer Pie, or my mama's deep dish apple pie? Is your mouth watering yet? We'll get right to it in just a minute, but first let me introduce my guest for today, as if he needs an introduction. Edward Reid, one of Scotland's top stage performers and semi-finalist in Britain's Got Talent. It's so good to have you here, Edward. Can we tempt you with a little American pie?
You didn't ask me twice, Liberty. Yes, you can. It smells delicious already.
Well, good, and it's coming right up, my mama's apple pie. And let me tell you, some of my mama's secret ingredients take the word homegrown to a whole new level. All the locals know that the forest holds everything you need to sustain yourself, if you just know where to look. And we're here to meet Maxime J, a master forager, to find out what beautiful Scottish ingredients we can bring back for our American pies.
That's the flower of herb bennets, and the whole thing, the whole part that you can see here is really of no interest whatsoever for us, okay? There may be some medicinal property, but we're here to eat, so that's not relevant. The most interesting part of it is what is below the ground.
That's what I can make my sort of clove, cinnamon flavors with.
Exactly, it's absolutely magic. It's really, really nice. And you make panna cotta, you make ice cream with that.
Ooh, it's gonna go really good in our strawberry cream pie.
And here what we have is gooseberry, and look at the little berry here.
It's a gooseberry. Can I eat that?
No, it's too early.
So you can't just sort of like wander around and eat any leaf. You have to know what, you have to be a master forager and know what you're doing.
Well, you have to know what you're doing, yes indeed. And this one is the sorrel, and it's really, really good.
That tastes delicious.
Yeah. But you will cut it just above the roots, so that you don't take one by one. You take, a floret of leaves, and by doing so, you are able to give the sorrel better chance to retain its freshness.
Oh, so when my grandmother always told me cut it right below the root, that's what she was meaning. So Maxime works out of his boot, right? You go foraging into these glorious surroundings, and it is raining, it is very Scottish, and you have all these amazing items in the back of your boot. Tell me.
Smell that.
How cool is this?
Smell that. You can smell the watermelon.
Oh man.
This is the dry-out saddle. This is the season now. The particularity of that mushroom is that when you cut it, then you come back the week after, and it has grown again.
It's grown after you cut
it? You can prolong the harvest period over a period of
So you cut
few
and
weeks.
then you come back to the same place where you got it before, and then you get more.
This is the pig nuts. So you follow that plant, it goes right here, it goes between 2 and say 5 centimeters in the ground, and the stem make a 90-degree angle, and then you hit the pig nuts. And the pig nuts that you have is
the little bag you gave me.
Yeah. If the stem break, you lose your pig nut. And
Hey!
here we go.
We got our pig nut! And so we just peel the skin back and eat it.
Yeah, just like this. No! So how does it taste?
It tastes delicious. It's like coconut.
Right.
And it has the same texture as coconut.
Uh-huh.
I mean, a little bit of dirt flavor along with the coconut.
Oh, the dirt.
Oh, the dirt. And on the final note of those delicious coconut pig nuts, we're gonna head back to the studio to make some American pies with our absolutely beautiful Scottish ingredients. So here we are, all dried out and ready to use some of those fabulous outdoor ingredients for our fabulous indoor Mama's apple pie. We're gonna start with our filling. So I have about 100 grams of butter here that's been browning on this stovetop that never seems to work. We're almost there. It's gonna beep away at us for a second, and then it's gonna get all hot and spicy. So you see this sizzling away. I have Granny Smith apples here. They're sliced. You peel them and then you slice them. And you're just going to put a little bit of lemon juice on them to make sure that they stay nice and fresh and don't get brown while you're mixing them up. You just pour them into this nice brown butter, and we're going to let that sizzle away and add in our fillings. So this is 90 grams of brown sugar, 50 grams of white castor sugar, our secret homegrown ingredient, it's a little elderflower syrup. We made it, but if you don't have Maxime there to show you what to do and make sure you don't eat anything poisonous, you can just buy it in the grocery store. And then a teensy bit of salt, and it's going to start sizzling away and really coat those Granny Smith apples. Now, different people have very different feelings about what types of apples to use while you're making your pie. But Granny Smith was a woman who immigrated from Australia to England in the 1800s, and her pies became absolutely famous. And it was because she used her own apples that she cultivated herself, and they became Granny Smiths. And I really think they give it that fresh, tart taste. We'll add in a little bit more lemon juice, and you can always add in a little bit of the zest. Don't be afraid of it. These are my trio of spices. I love trios of spices. We're going to add some cinnamon. We're going to add a little nutmeg. And then finally, and this is the real kicker, is a little bit of cloves. It changes the whole flavor. And then as always, just a little splash of really high quality vanilla. So we're going to let that sizzle away while we work on our pie dough, and let that really make sure all the apples are just coated in that gorgeous filling. So while that's sizzling away, here's our pie dough. This is just flour and a tablespoon of sugar crunched in with about 250 grams of butter. And you can see it almost has this sand consistency, this clumpy consistency. You stick in an egg that also has a teaspoon of water, and you're really just going to mix this. And I put it just like this, not fully mixed, into the fridge to get really cold before I roll it out. Now I've rolled out some pastry dough already so that we're all organized and really ready for our pie. So we have our tart pan. You can use any kind of pan you want, but I love this because it has little holes so it gets that really crunchy crust going on in there. So we're going to roll up our big sheet, and this is going to be the bottom of our pie. And we're going to clean our kitchen as we go, which is always my goal, which never really always works. And we just lay out our pie. Easy peasy. Make sure you really get into the corners. There's nothing worse than when you eat a pie and all the corners are all crunchy and funny. So really make sure that you come around very delicately with your dough and you stick it right there. Also, I have to tell you, sometimes I buy my pie dough. Don't ever tell anyone, but you can do it too. It tastes really good. The grocery store dough's really good. But if you want to go really full hog, you can make some dough. And usually what I do is I make extra dough and then I stick it in the freezer so that I have some around. Just make sure it's fully thawed when you go. So now we need to get rid of our excess, and this is a really good trick to get rid of your excess. Just roll your rolling pin or whatever you're using. A wine bottle works really well when you don't have a rolling pin. And then your dough excess just peels away. Easy as that. So we have our nice apples that are all coated in this beautiful sauce, and we're just going to pour it right into our apple pie. I pour it in warm because I stick it right in the oven, but if you're going to let it sit out for a little while because you want to wait till people come to stick it in the oven so it's hot when it comes out, just make sure this is room temperature when you do that. You don't want to pour hot pie into pie dough and then let it sit. So there is our gorgeous filling, right there, all coated and delicious. So now you can just have a same kind of crust that we put in here, or you can lattice and be a little bit fancy. So we're gonna lattice, okay? This is not hard. It looks fancy. It is the easiest thing on earth to do. If you don't see it here, you can just go to YouTube and do some things. But you lay out your stripes, okay? Here they are, laid out. Every other one, you're gonna peel back like that and put a new stripe across. Layer, back, layer, back. It's quite cathartic to do this. Layer and back. And then you just repeat this until you're fully done. You know, it's funny, pie crust actually never was something people ate. In England, they used to use it, they called them coffins, and it was really just to hold things. But nowadays, pie crust is absolutely, I mean, it's the best part of the pie, if you ask me. And it wasn't until the 1800s that people actually ate the pie crust. They usually just used it to bake all the filling in it. And I did learn that it was during Chaucer's time that was when this actually apple pie became a thing in England. And even though now we have our sayings that things are as American as apple pie, it didn't used to be like that. So we finished our lattice. It can be as messy or rustic as you want. And then you're gonna take your egg wash, brush it along to get that really nice crunchy crust. And then we're gonna just stick it in the oven and bake away. But we really have some absolutely fabulous pies coming up. But we're gonna take a break right there while the pie's in the oven, and don't go away. I will be back with another one of my favorites. Liberty's Strawberry Summer Pie is coming right up in just a couple minutes. See you then. Hello again from our American kitchen. Mama's deep dish apple pie is baking away from part one, and it's time now for Liberty's Strawberry Summer Pie. That's what I so humbly call it, but it's amazing all year round. And of course, my special guest for today, Edward Reed, is waiting in the wings to help out in just a little while. I hope you got a sweet tooth, Edward.
I've got about 15 sweet teeth, that's a problem, Liberty, but I'm in heaven.
I know how you feel, but let's get started so I get your 15 sweet teeth going. So here we have just 500 milliliters of single cream. We're gonna start with the filling. 500 milliliters of single cream heating up. It's on about a medium to high heat. We're gonna add our sugar and corn flour to our 1 egg and 2 egg yolks. Adding the egg yolks instead of the whites really adds to that rich, deep custard that's the base for our strawberry cream pie. So we're gonna add that in. Now the best way to do this, because you don't want a big thick liquid going into a thin one, is you put a little bit of the hot milk in, and that allows you really to mix through these eggs really well. And then you simply pour it in, and we're just gonna let that really heat up and get quite thick, but it will get thicker as it cools. So while we're waiting for that, we'll work on our crust. These are some cookies, some chocolate cookies that have all been crushed up. If you've had a hard day at work, this is a really good thing to do. And it's just all crushed up. You can use anything you want to crush it. We're gonna put it into our bowl. There's about 30 cookies in here. And then we're gonna add our 100 grams of melted butter. Couldn't be better than that. And give it a nice little mix right there. And you can use really any chocolate cookies you want. I like ones with cream in the middle because it gives it a whole different texture. And you can make it as fine or as thick as you want. So now you stick your no-bake crust into your pan, like so. Pat it down. You can also bring it up on the sides if you want, but I like to have it flat because then you can see that cream in there. Fabulous, and now we see our custard here heating up a little bit. Oops, I forgot to add my corn flour. It was in the sugar. So here's a little bit of corn flour, 2 teaspoons. It's fine to add it in at the end. Not ideal, but you can. See, everybody messes up in the kitchen. Even when you have everything laid out, you can mess up in the kitchen. And we're just gonna let that heat up. It's really getting there. We're gonna add a little bit of our fabulous high quality vanilla. Right there. And then, now that that's getting pretty thick, and then again, it'll thicken up a lot as you cook it, we're gonna off-heat add our strawberries. Right there. Mix it in really good. And then we're simply gonna pour it into our pie pan. Oh man, look at that. This is a good sweet tooth food. Look at that. And then that just goes in the fridge for about 2.5 hours. It's great if you can do it overnight, but if you can't, no worries. And that is this beautiful Liberty Strawberry Summer Pie. It's juicy, it's sweet, and it's delicious. We've got 2 great pies to finish off, so let's get Edward over here, and he's gonna help me taste test our chocolate topping. So now, we don't know which one's which, right? No. We don't. Okay, I don't either. It does, well, yeah, we'll do it again. We got it. So we're gonna decide which one we like for our strawberry delicious pie. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, should we try together?
Yeah.
Don't take my chocolate.
Oh, I thought we were sharing.
No, I can eat my own chocolate. What do you think? Creamy. Good. I like the eyes closed. You're really taking the senses here.
I'm getting the senses, yeah. That's good. That's amazing.
Okay. I'm gonna save this for later.
Me too.
Second one?
That's too big. We need half it.
You keep your own chocolate.
I'm having like a cocktail of chocolate because I've still got the remainders of this one.
I like this one. I like it. You like it? It's a little harsh though, no?
No.
A little harsh?
Darker, because it's darker. Mm-hmm. It's nice.
It's nice. Are you a big chocolate eater? You are?
I actually went to hypnotherapy to stop eating it. I ate too much of it.
You have a chocolate bar?
have,
On
but
tour, do you have a chocolate bar everywhere you go?
I usually have one in my glove compartment, which is bad, or one in a bag somewhere hidden, so it's really bad. It's a bad thing.
Do you ever hide it and then forget where it is? Yeah.
And then it's like a game, it's
I
great.
know. And then you all of a sudden find it somewhere. I like this one the best.
Yeah, oh really? What's this, the last
The
one?
last one. You're so slow, you're not
I'm
even
slow.
there.
I'm enjoying
You're
it.
taking your time with your chocolate.
Yeah. This is like the UN of chocolate. It's like chocolate all over the country.
Do you try chocolate like in all the different countries you go to on tour?
Yeah. I love going to a vending machine when I'm in America and getting a O. Henry or something like that.
Yeah.
But it's never the same as, I mean, I think we're spoiled. I don't know what you think, but what's your
American
experience?
chocolate is the best.
I disagree.
I know. No one agrees with me. Okay, which
I think
one?
every single one of them is amazing. I think that one.
That one's your favorite?
What is that? I
You
thought that was
knew.
in
You
there.
knew. You tasted it.
Yeah.
I like that one. You know what? I think it's rigged. I always like the American one the best.
I didn't know.
Yeah. Well, you're out of luck because it is the American one that I've melted. So you're
It's
gonna...
funny, I think I'm a connoisseur. Now some people can drink red wine and know what they're doing. I can eat chocolate and identify
And
what it is.
identify exactly which one it is. Well, let's get doing on our chocolate. So
Magic.
I'm going to set you to decorate in our apple pie. Are
Okay.
you a good ice cream scooper?
Yes, I
Yes.
think.
So ice cream on top, and then your little delicious sprig of mint.
mint.
So we're gonna see how good your skills are.
Okay.
Okay. And while you're doing that, I'm gonna decorate this apple pie.
yeah.
Apple pie. I'm gonna decorate my strawberry pie. Okay. So we get started.
Yep.
Okay. So this strawberry pie came out of the oven. We'll see. It's always a question. Came out of the oven. What is wrong with me today? Our apple pie came out of the oven. Our strawberry pie came out of the fridge, where it's been getting really nice and cold, and all that custard has been setting. And we're gonna set. That's very well done.
Thank you.
Nicely
And you know,
done.
if you bang them in, it gets more flavour out. Did you
It
know
gets
that?
it gets all the smells going.
yeah.
You're very knowledgeable.
Yeah.
You know what you're doing. So we have both of our strawberry pies here, and now we're gonna sprinkle a little bit of cookie. This is some of the same cookie that was on the crust. You're so much faster.
I'm
than
done.
You're done.
Hold on.
I
I
had
need
a
to give
little-
myself some more work.
Make it really perfect. So I just sprinkled some of the cookie along here. You can make it all look so fancy. Okay. And then now this is a pig nut. Have you had a pig nut?
Never in my life have
Will
I
you
had
eat a pig nut?
Yeah, go on. Okay.
Yeah, you'll eat a pig nut. Just go for it. Just
All
go.
of it or just
No,
a bit of
do
it?
half. What do you think?
What, is it natural? Is it,
I foraged it with
from
a
the ground?
master forager. Yeah, we foraged it. We picked it out of the ground. Isn't that amazing? On a little country lane in Scotland, we picked that
Really?
out of the ground. Yeah.
Oh.
If you don't have Maxime, the master forager, with you, you may not be able to find it, but you could. Isn't that amazing? It adds that coconut, that raw coconut
Yeah,
flavor.
like a chestnut
That was
kind of thing.
picked out of the ground in Scotland,
Really?
just up the road. Yeah. Isn't that amazing?
Made up in Castle Milk?
Yeah. So we're gonna put our little strawberry on top, add our final decoration. Okay.
Beautiful.
Now, can you see what that spells out?
Strawberry.
Yeah, I can spell. I took the cream from the inside of the cookie, and I rolled it out just like you would dough, and then I just cut it out with a knife.
Clever.
Isn't that cool? It's like
Nothing's wasted.
no, nothing. Well, it's also the cream's the best part.
And it's
I'll
edible.
eat it and try it anyway. Okay, and then our final thing is our drizzle of chocolate, and this is the American chocolate because it's my favorite. So you're out of luck. Sorry. And we're gonna drizzle it on top. Now, are you a good drizzler? Are you gonna risk it for
A good
biscuit?
dribbler, but,
Dribbler. Yeah, both of those.
I'll
a
let
good
you do
drizzler.
that. You're the
I'm gonna do that.
expert.
So all you do is you cut a little
right.
hole in the bottom of a Ziploc bag, and you put your melted chocolate in,
Easy.
and then you just drizzle away. Look how pretty that is.
Wow.
Isn't that nice? So this is a no-bake pie, and you can make it look totally
So
gourmet.
professional.
But I just threw stuff on. You saw me. I wasn't even trying. You just throw it on there, and you can make it look all fancy.
Looks too good to eat now. You
Well,
don't
you
want
have to eat it anyway.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, yeah, it's good. Okay, apple pie first. We'll
Yeah.
try your beautiful creation 1st. Okay, are you ready?
Yeah.
Here's your fork.
Thank you.
This is the moment of truth, okay? If it's good or not, you gotta dive in there. You always have to get a little ice cream in there. Apple pie is
Yeah.
not apple pie without ice cream.
You can taste the clove.
Can you? Do you like it?
Really nice, yeah.
What do you think?
I love it.
Is this the best apple
This
pie
is the
you've
best
ever
apple pie I've ever tasted.
You better say that. You're not going to get any of the
not-
strawberry pie
I'm
unless
not
you
a
say
liar.
that.
This is really good.
Is it really good? I like the crunch of the apples because it's those crisp, tart apples,
They
so
are.
it gives texture to it. It's not just mush, right? You can actually taste that crunch.
A bit of bite.
Yeah, and the clove is really good, isn't it? You wouldn't think to put that in. It's that trio of spices that just make this.
Did you eat the mint?
Well, you can. I like to eat mint. A lot of people don't.
But
Yeah, why not? We eat leaves when we're foraging, so you might as well eat the mint too.
But I thought it was like the mint brings out the apple or something like that. Or...
We can say it does. I like that.
When you
Okay.
put cucumber
The
with
mint
gin,
brings out the apple.
you put cucumber with gin, it brings out the something in the gin. I thought maybe this was something that...
Oh, I think it does.
Good.
Yeah. Okay, you ready for your strawberry pie? Okay, this is a taste testing frenzy. You ready? I'm going for the end.
Bit of Oreo.
A little bit of cookie in there. You can use whatever your favorite brand is. What do you think? That's good, isn't it? That's good. You don't even need to turn the oven on. Look at that face. I like this face.
This is, I'm in heaven.
You're in heaven? Good.
Can I come back next week?
You can come back anytime. When you're on tour, do you eat like this?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
You
really
do.
bad. It's bad because I don't like to eat before I perform. And then often I perform at night, so then about 11 o'clock I got hungry.
And then
the
you
worst
eat,
time. And
you eat
it's,
this?
Yeah,
You eat this?
it's bad.
So it's good having you with us on Liberty's Great American Cookbook today, and thanks to my guest, Edward Reed. You can, of course, catch all of today's recipes on the STV website. Join us again soon for another Great American Cookbook. Bye-bye for now.